Hello once again everyone, it is Jello here, and today we will be talking about a topic that is most frequently asked in Facebook groups or even in forums back then, and that is bottlenecking. So what is a bottleneck? At least in my definition, it's something that holds back the performance of your PC. It could be your CPU, your GPU, your hard drive, or even the display. Other factors could also include the game itself and the resolution you're playing at. So there's really no simple answer to this question because there's always a bottleneck. But today I'm going to show you what a CPU and a GPU bottleneck looks like. So the game that we're playing right now is PUBG. It's the Steam version, and as you can see, we are at the lobby, and as you can see, the GPU utilization is already at 98%, and the CPU is just at about 17, 18, or even 20%. But our frame rate is about 119 or 120 FPS, so no big deal, even if we're limited by our GPU. So that means right now we have a GPU bottleneck, but let's try playing the game itself. By the way, I have a Ryzen 5 1600 and a GTX 1070 with 16 gigs of RAM. And as you can see, once again, our GPU is at 98%, 97%. Our CPU is only at 24 or 30% utilization, but our frame rate is still pretty good. It's no big deal. So the GPU bottleneck is not necessarily a bad thing. So if we upgrade, or if I upgrade my graphics card to something like a GTX 1080 or an RTX 2070 non-super, or even the super, or basically what I'm trying to say is, if I upgrade to a higher graphics card, then we will have better performance. So again, a GPU bottleneck is not a bad thing. And so we're gonna exit the game and disable some cores of the CPU by using Ryzen Master and introduce a CPU bottleneck, and let's see what happens. So I just disabled 4 cores of our Ryzen 5 1600, but left SMT on, or simultaneous multi-threading on. So basically, we have an Athlon 200GE, which is a 2-core and 4-thread CPU. So we're going back to PUBG and see how much of an impact it has in our performance. And so we are here again at the spawn area, and as you can see, from I think we had about 100 something FPS, 120 FPS. Right now we dropped to about 71%, 70 frames per second. So right now, again, as you can see, the frame times, it's spiking a lot, and that simply means our frame rate is jumping all over the place. And again, it doesn't really feel as smooth as it used to be with a 6-core 12-thread processor. And we could see that we're hitting about 74 FPS or above 60, let's just say. But the frame times, it's like let's say it's skipping frames, but again, it's not as smooth as it used to be. Ouch. Okay, so I just showed you a CPU and a GPU bottleneck. So having a GPU bottleneck is not necessarily a bad thing. As what I've showed you, we got very decent frame rates with a GTX 1070 and a Ryzen 5 1600. However, when we turned it into essentially an Athlon 200GE, a 2-core and 4-thread processor, it really hampered the performance of our whole system. The frame times and frame rates were not very consistent. So ideally, you don't want to pair an entry-level CPU like an Athlon 200GE or the Pentium G5400 to an RTX 2070 or even a 2060, because it would really affect your gaming performance a lot. It would drop down your frame rates, and your frame times will be all over the place. So what I'm really trying to say is a CPU bottleneck is not good. It's bad. But then again, There is always a bottleneck in your system. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't yet so you won't miss any updates. And that is it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.